Going back to the movie stuff, I did want to ask you about this thing I saw on your Wikipedia about writing a song with Mick Jagger for the series Vinyl. Because I remember watching that series, I really enjoyed it, but I think it was only one series or something.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I think it got badly. It got like a lot of criticism, didn't it? I don't know why.
I mean, I'll give you my criticism.
Go on then, yeah.
I love the Elvis episode.
Right, yeah.
I thought it was a standalone thing, you know, when he goes to Vegas and he tries to sign Elvis, but like the Colonel, Elvis's manager, is just like drugging Elvis and not like it's like gave you like this. I didn't know anything about that really.
Mm.
And obviously that Baz Luhrmann Elvis film just came out and it says it all. It's filmed from the Colonel's perspective. But yeah, that was sort of towards the end of the Turbo Guys run. We're in a rehearsal space, probably rehearsing or talking about rehearsing. And then Jimmy, who is Mick's son, was like, oh, I forgot something really cool. Like my dad wants us to, he's producing a show with Martin Scorsese and he wants us to do a couple of songs for it in the style of like Dead Boys or Iggy Pop, because it's a show about the New York punk scene and A&Rs. And I was like, in my head, you know, we spoke about it, and in my head I was like, cool, this is going to be like 24-hour, like New York's answer to 24-hour party people. And I still think to this day, like 24-hour party people is like one of the best biopics ever made, like especially the way that the live music's shown. But I guess I kind of sort of blocked out the fact that he said Martin Scorsese, because it's quite a lot of information to process. You're like 25 or whatever in a rehearsal space in like East London at 10 at night. But we were like, cool. And he was like, yeah, but the thing is we had to send it tomorrow.
Wow.
I was like, oh shit. And that was like very much the energy of our band. Like we're kind of stoners, but this was great. So we're in a space. I fucking love the Dead Boys. I think what's the song? Ain't It Fun? Like when I first heard the Paddingtons, I was like Tom reminded me of Stiff Baiters, and I just heard Rocket from the Tombs, Dead Boys, Ain't It Fun? I think that song's like a fucking anthem. But anyway, I was like, this is a really cool thing. So we sat around. We obviously wrote a song that was nowhere near as good as Ain't It Fun, but we recorded it on like 2 phones, and I took it back to my studio in London, in Tower Bridge, and we recorded a bass on it, and then sent it and kind of forgot about it for 3 months. And then I was in the studio and I got a phone call from Jimmy, and I picked up and I just heard this voice going, Jimmy, do you reckon get Lewis to like add a guitar part so I can go, New York's good if you want to fight? And I was literally like, what the fuck? Like I just burst out laughing. And and Jimmy was like, so I needed to did you hear what my old man said? Do I need to repeat what he said? And I was like, no, like I got it. So I like recorded some guitar, sent it off. And then Mick and Jimmy wrote the lyrics and did the vocals. And then the show was made, and like Ray Ronaldo from, is that his name, Ray Ronaldo from Sonic Youth? He like redid all the music and packaged it. So he was like the producer, kind of like me and Matt were on Birdie. He was the producer on vinyl and got all the musicians together and played, you know, he was playing my guitar parts, which was pretty cool. And that was it. And like, you know, we back and forthed a couple of emails about that guitar part. And that was it. And we had 2 songs in it. One song was the Turbo Guy song that we just hadn't used. And yeah, that song, I think it was called Rotting Apple or something, was on the first episode, the Scorsese directed one. And like classic, like me in my 20s, I tried to push my luck by trying to get in the show.
Right. Yes.
And I like sent them a picture. I just done these photos with my band Sugar where we're like, I was wearing what Emma wears and she was wearing what I wear. I had a leather jacket and she was wearing like a sort of bra. And I sent those in and they're like, yeah, I got a call from their casting agent. They're like, yeah, we really like your look. Like, let's do this. We'll get you in as like an extra. And I was like, sick. But then they're like, do you have an acting visa? And I was like, no, I'm a musician. Isn't it the same thing? And they're like, no. And they're like, we can only pay you $100 a day and it'd be 3 days, but a visa costs like $1,000.
Right.
I wasn't prepared to like pay to play.
Yeah.
Even though it would have been an experience, but like I liked the initial idea of that show, but like, you know, like I said before, I sort of blocked out the fact that Martin Scorsese was doing it. There's always got to be a dead body showing up, isn't there, in a Martin Scorsese film? It can't just be about the music and what it was like to be an A&R in those days and how much coke they did, you know.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, and there was a murder and then they're involved. And I was just
The
like, oh.
storyline's coming back to me now. Yeah, he killed someone, didn't he? The main guy.
He killed someone in like the first episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I was Martin, which I know I'm not, I'd have done that at the end of episode 10 and just made the whole thing about, you know, it's such a rich subject, you know, but it was cool to be involved. And that was like, I think that was just before that last American tour with Turbo Guys when we recorded that. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
cool.
fun.